You're already feeling it, but you still can't name it. Something's stirring inside, and it's not gentle. There's a shapeless discomfort growing, thoughts coming out of nowhere, impulses you thought you'd overcome, suddenly coming back with force. There's no clear reason, but there's a silent hunch. Something is about to surface. Today, the sun begins to oppose Lilith in Scorpio. It's not the peak yet, but it's enough to shake the basement of the soul. This is the kind of energy that whispers before it screams, that digs before it explodes. You're standing at a threshold between what you're still trying to hide and what refuses to be repressed any longer. And the question the sky is asking now is, will you keep pretending you don't feel it? Or will you start preparing for what's about to erupt with full force? The sky is aligning for one of the most intense confrontations of the month. But before the explosion comes the warning. This is the prelude to the opposition between the sun and Lilith. And like any prelude, it's subtle but powerful. You might be feeling emotions that show up out of nowhere. Restlessness, irritation, the urge to isolate, overreactions to small things, and most of all, a strange need to hide or to blow up. That's Lilith getting closer. It's the shadows saying, I want space. But she's not yelling yet. She's provoking. She's testing you. She's planting tension. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice. What's coming will require courage, not to control, but to face it head on. You're still trying to keep up with daily life, replying to messages, following through on commitments, but deep down, something's cracking. It feels like you're holding together a version of yourself that can't exist anymore. And the more you try to stay in control, the more your body speaks up, the more your triggers flare, the more everything starts showing signs of collapse. This is Lilith pushing against your structure. The sun, symbol of identity, is about to face Lilith, symbol of what's been cast aside. And that creates an internal tension you're already feeling in your everyday life. You act polite, but you're boiling inside. You smile, but deep down, you want to disappear. You try to stay grounded, but you're on the edge of an emotional breakdown. This is just the prelude, and it's not asking you to fix anything yet. It only wants you to acknowledge what's about to spill over. Because when the opposition hits, what's whispering today is going to scream. Some days, the soul screams, but you don't understand the language. You feel a tightness in your chest, a restlessness, a sudden emptiness, and you can't explain it. Maybe on those days, you cry for no reason. You're more reactive, get irritated by small things, or feel a strange sadness, like you're grieving something that hasn't even happened yet. That's Lilith's prelude. She doesn't arrive with logic. She arrives with presence. And that presence disrupts everything that was too neatly in place. You might try to rationalize it. It's PMS. It's stress, just a phase. But if you listen more deeply, you'll sense that something is rising from within, from a very old place. Maybe it's a part of you that got stuck in the past, an anger you never expressed, a pain you swallowed because it wasn't the right time, a desire you learned to ignore just to fit in. Now, all of that wants space. And even if you still don't know the name of what you're feeling, know this: what's real doesn't need a name to be recognized. And what's emerging now will demand that you face it. You say you're fine, but you're not. You're smiling, but deep down, you're exhausted. You're trying to keep it together, but the ground beneath your feet is cracking. This is the tension between the sun and Lilith. The sun represents what you show the world, your image, your light, your consistency. Lilith represents what you hide, out of shame, fear, or simply not knowing how to handle it. And now, these two forces are staring each other down, still from a distance, but with growing intensity. This moment feels like being caught between two mirrors. One reflects who you learned to be. The other reflects who you suppressed to fit that role. And the question that echoes is brutal. Which reflection is the real you? Maybe neither. Maybe the truth lives in the cracks between the two. And maybe that's the invitation the sky is offering now. Stop performing and start revealing yourself. Lilith isn't gentle. She's fierce. And that's exactly why she brings you face to face with a choice disguised as a crisis. In the coming days, you might feel an urge to drop everything, a need to finally speak truths you've been swallowing for too long, a sudden impulse to take radical action, even if you don't fully understand why, an almost primal force pushing you to break free from patterns, people, or promises. And then the question hits, is this self-sabotage, or is it liberation? The truth? Maybe it's both, because every real act of liberation comes at a cost. And sometimes, to finally show who you are, you'll have to disappoint those who got used to your tamed version. But Lilith doesn't want you to destroy your life. She wants you to stop destroying yourself in the name of keeping the peace. This moment isn't about exploding. It's about seeing where you've been imploding for way too long. And most importantly, the climax hasn't arrived yet. This is just the crack, the fissure that opens before the eruption. What you choose now can soften or intensify the impact of what's about to rise. How long can you hide who you really are? How long can you silence what's trying to surface just to stay acceptable? Lilith, in this prelude, is pushing you, but not out of cruelty, out of truth. She's that force knocking on the door of your awareness, asking, how long are you going to pretend you don't feel what you feel? You can keep suppressing it, but every time you do, you drift further from your life force, from your authenticity, from the integrity of your soul. Lilith wants space, not to destroy, but so you can finally stop molding yourself into the image others created for you. This energy isn't here to destabilize you, it's here to make you real. And if you welcome what's coming, even afraid, even shaking, you'll realize that what felt like too much was actually the missing piece you needed to feel whole. This prelude isn't happening by chance. The sky is aligning for something bigger, the eclipse, and Lilith wants to be present when it hits. The opposition with the sun is still forming, but you can already feel the energy tightening, like your soul is bracing itself to be revealed. This isn't just a transit, it's an energetic ritual, a symbolic process of exposing the shadow. And here's the truth. If you don't make room for your shadow now, it's going to take that space during the eclipse. And when that happens, you'll lose control, you'll overflow, you'll break down emotionally, or you'll react in impulsive, disproportionate ways. That's why the time to realign is now, before it's too late. Before you find yourself saying, I don't know what came over me, because you do know, you're feeling it. You're just trying to pretend it's not happening. When the shadow begins to rise, the first instinct is to throw it outward. You start thinking someone else is acting weird, that someone triggered you, that it's the situation, the job, your partner's fault. But Lilith doesn't trigger the outer world. She activates your inner mirror. And if you're not paying attention, you'll start projecting. You'll accuse someone of being controlling, when deep down, you're feeling powerless. You'll say others are pressuring you when you're the one pushing yourself beyond your limits. You'll pull away from those who offer comfort, because being held means showing your vulnerability. It's an unconscious game, but it's a dangerous one. Lilith amplifies whatever's unresolved, and anything you don't face now will turn into drama, conflict, or emotional sabotage in the coming days. The question you need to ask is, what part of this discomfort is actually mine? And if you have the courage to answer honestly, you'll realize that much of what feels external is really just you. Seeing yourself from angles you haven't dared to accept yet. You don't need to banish your shadow. You don't need to defeat it. You don't need to control it. You just need to welcome what it's trying to show you. Lilith isn't the villain. She's the part of you that's tired of being ignored. So here's a simple, yet powerful, ritual to anchor this energy before it spills over. Integration, ritual, 4 steps. Light a dark or red candle. It's not about aesthetics. It symbolizes the presence of what's been rejected. Close your eyes and ask sincerely, what part of me is tired of being repressed? Don't force the answer, let it come. It might show up as an image, a memory, a feeling. Write a sentence of affirmation. Example, I see my anger and choose to listen to it. Or, I don't need to hide who I am to be accepted. Burn or keep the paper. If you burn it, you're releasing. If you keep it, you're making a silent pact with that part of yourself. This gesture might seem small, but it triggers a turning point. You stop running from yourself and start walking alongside your truth. What's rising inside you isn't the end of the world, it's the beginning of truth. And truth sometimes is uncomfortable. It's intense, it's dark, but it's also the only real path to emotional freedom. This prelude is your warning. Don't ignore the signs. Don't repress what's asking for space. Don't underestimate the force of what's still being held back, because very soon, that holding back will break, and what now feels like internal tension will become full-blown soul exposure. You're being prepared, and what you choose to do with this now will shape how you move through the climax that's coming. If this video touched something you can't quite name yet, but your soul understood, drop this in the comments. I welcome what wants to be born in me. That phrase is a seal, an energetic code, a simple yet profound ritual of presence and commitment. And if you want to be fully conscious when the portal opens, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, because the next video will dive into the full impact of the Sun-Lilith opposition, and you'll want to be ready. See you there.